The number one problem with 90% of leg presses out there. What's up, beautiful people? Nathan Clark coming to you from Domination Nation Gym. This is a picture of my gym from the back here. It's just a beautiful fall day, beautiful fall day. I'm going to take you through a leg workout, quad based, just because I feel like and just because I can. Follow the workout. I'm going to show you some machines you've probably not seen before, some cool movements and supersets and stuff. And I'm going to show you the reason 95% of leg presses, particularly linear leg presses, are not made well. All right, so I already did some calves I didn't show you. I'm going to show you just a one-legged leg extension. I would like to do that to warm up my legs. This is the Medics Avenger leg extension. Literally just got this within the last week. I'm going to show you doing it two legs here at the end of the workout, but phenomenal machine. I only got this machine because it's the first generation version. I don't really care for the later generation. Cool machine. Honestly, one of the biggest challenges I often have is particularly with legs, because a lot of leg movements, you can't combine a ton of them because they're compound movements and you can't do all of them in one workout. So I have leg machines I only filter through every 6 to 8 months sometimes, because I just get fixated on a movement on another machine. I don't get a chance to, because of it's a compound movement and it's not something I'm necessarily just going to combine. It's a good problem to have, I guess. Really is a good problem. Can't ever have enough leg equipment, I still believe. I wish I had more room for more leg equipment, but I'll show you. My compound movement today is going to be on that machine right there. I believe I've shown this on here before. This is the Fortis Fitness wall squat machine. Not cheap. I'm not one to buy equipment brand new, especially when it's coming on my own pocket with no tax deduction. But this one I actually bought brand new. Just a phenomenal machine. I haven't used it in like 6 months and I've missed it. The cool thing with this thing I'm going to show you is this pad right here. So I realized I hadn't used this machine in a while, and I actually do miss it because it hits your quads in a very, very unique way. Those of you who have done like a straight vertical hack squat or a wall squat machine like this, very unique stimulus. So the weight is about 3 times to 4 times heavier facing out against the pad than it is facing in. The old school like carrying is you just face in, which doesn't give you the facing out version. But facing out is much harder. And for me, it's all about the depth. Like I superset from my heels up to my toes up on this little wedge. It just accentuates the quad activation, but just hammers the lower quad, which is my weak part of the quad, the part of the quad you can see in shorts and stuff. So, but honestly, the depth on this is where I'd lower the weight a lot more than I'm used to, and just focus only on the depth and on not resting at the top. Crazy unique stimulus. The cool thing with this, one of my favorite movements, honestly, is the one-legged split squat, because it's got the built-in pad. So I superset a couple sets facing out to heels up and then toes up split squat. Absolutely brutal. So depending on your intensity, you can end the workout after doing 2 or 3 sets of this. It's that freaking effective. The thing with these, the way this is structured, like I can grab those bars in front and assist if I need to the very top. And I almost always use this machine with reverse bands, just because, like I said, I focus on depth. And the very bottom, obviously, you're the weakest and a linear type of movement. So it gives me that assistance. But there are band pegs built in to give more tension at the top, which you can do kind of RDLs with it. Once you try this machine, like, you realize every single hack squat should be made with a short and abbreviated pad to allow your lumbar spine to go into its proper curvature during the movement, which is, I guess, what I've noticed is why traditional hack squats machines are uncomfortable. Even the one of the swing squats I have, the pad comes down so low, you have to have a lumbar pad in there to allow your lumbar spine to curve appropriately. So the issue with 95% of leg presses, very few of them that are actually made correctly, is the foot plate doesn't come down low enough. They're almost all hip flexion, hip extension dominant. You still get some quad stimulation, but it's suboptimal quad stimulation. Like the foot plate needs to come down lower and it needs to come down at an angle. So if you've seen some of my refurbs, and I'll show you a few others, it makes an absolute freaking massive difference. All right, so check this out. These are a couple videos I pulled from the internet. This is the Life Fitness linear leg press. Look at his feet are more or less close to the bottom, and even with full hip flexion, there's very little knee involvement. There's some knee involvement, but look at the angle. Now this is the hammer strength when I had this one. Not a great machine. Much better one leg at a time. But look at, it's almost all hip flexion, hip extension. You're getting a great stretch on your glutes. It's great for your glutes and your adductors, but very little on your quads. They're just not ideal, optimal quad stimulation. I want you to notice the modification I made to both of these machines. I still need to put shoulder pads on them, and I need a couple different modifications I'm going to do. But the simple modification makes a massive difference. So I'm just going to superset 2 leg presses next to each other. I actually have not used these leg presses in a while. So kind of embarrassing. I'm using them for the first time making a video in a long time, partly because I haven't finished refurbing both of these. They're still kind of actively refurbed. But you can see, look at how extended the foot plate on this universal leg press. It transforms almost an exclusively glute machine to allow you crazy quad stimulation. Because of the amount of hip flexion I'm able to get, like it's wild. And you see how I can put my feet really low and make it like a sissy squat. Honestly, I've just been using this for the first time in a long time. So it's partly me learning as I'm making this video. But the stimulation on this is so good. You can see even that Atlantis leg press next to it I need to fix. Like every leg press needs to have a lowered angled foot plate. It just does. And because it just hits your quads in such a way that the traditional foot plate angle cannot. And again, leg presses are great for glutes and great for adductors. If that's all you want to do, go for it. And well, like I said, I do find a lot of leg presses one leg at a time. If you put your foot low, you get great quad stimulation. But 2 legs at a time, it's not the same story. But this one's going to be really good once I finish it. And then I'm switching straight to the cross axis next to it. You can see I've extended the foot plate, I've lowered it, and I've angled it to give you almost a nebula type of feel. But with the linkage and leverage of this, it's far superior to the nebula type leg press in my opinion, because you're getting variable resistance with the linkage. This thing just needs shoulder pads. Once it has shoulder pads, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. I got a seatbelt, which makes it good, but keeping my feet really low, and then I kind of extend my feet up just a little bit to give me sissy squat and then quad dominant squat, and then you can put your feet up and just make it traditional leg press, which again is more glute and adductor biased. It's too bad Henry's not making these anymore. This is such a great machine. It's just really it's just like most of these linear leg presses. They need shoulder pads, or you just pop out. So that's the only thing that's going to really make this thing phenomenal. But I just love having this lowered, extended foot plate. I'll give you a sneak peek. I've been waiting for months. I got to finish refurbing this. But look, see what I've done to my Avenger? This thing is just unreal now. Done the same thing to my Explode. You can see the same thing I've done to my Horse Rocket. All right, I'm just going to finish with a couple leg extension sets. Like I was just toast after those split squats and then a couple of those leg presses back to back. So again, this is that first generation Avenger leg extension I showed you. First time using it. The main reason I love it, look at my feet. It's got a bar that you can engage your feet against. I've never seen a leg extension that does that. After using it the first time, I can tell you with confidence, it hits the inner tier phenomenally well. The top part of the movement is better than any other leg extension I've ever used, meaning the contraction. Because I'm able to actually flex my toes and get an isotonic contraction of my quads against that bar in my feet while I'm doing the movement. It's crazy how it feels at full extension. The other thing I love about this is it's got this lever that increases the stretch. So it's very similar to the cross-axis leg extension in lots of ways. I'll have to compare them two directly, but I just couldn't pass up this piece. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe below. Feel good. Time to go back to work. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Really appreciate your support in growing this channel.